everybody, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another roster reveal. So this is officially my first roster back, really. Last month, I obviously shared my April roster, which was my first month back at work, but I joined in like halfway through the month. I also had some training in there, so it wasn't a full roster really. This is the first roster that I'm able to know in advance. I was able to make bids for it. So this is the first proper roster. So I'm going to reveal it to you guys today. So with these roster reveals, I always start off by going back to the month before and telling you anything that changed, so we'll start there. Then I'll tell you what I bidded for May. It was a shocking first bid back, and then I'll reveal my roster. I don't know if you can tell as well, but my voice is like very husky right now. I'm feeling very drained. I've literally been back a month and I'm so exhausted. If you saw my short haul vlog, then you will know that I was absolutely exhausted within my first month of work. So yeah, I'm tired, but it is safe to say that everything is coming flooding back now. I've got some long haul this next month, so let's crack on with the roster. So last month, what changed last month? When my roster first came out, I had my first flight, which was to Corfu and back, and then the next flight was originally available. By the time I gave you my roster reveal, I'd already had that available changed to an Athens and back, so there's nothing to report on there. After that, I had a block of 6 that had 2 available days at the end of it. The first available day changed to a Palermo there and back, and then the day after, I was very grateful to have a non-op on my last day of a 6-day block because I was exhausted, so tired, like just doing 2 flights, having some days off, and then coming straight back in with like 5 days of short haul. It killed me off, it really did. So I was very grateful for a non-op on that last day of a block of 6, and then after that I had my Tenerife there and back and nothing else. So yeah, nothing really changed last month apart from those 2 available days at the end there. That's it for April's roster. Cracking on with May's roster. This was the first roster, like I said, that I actually got to make some bids for. I thought maybe that, you know, the bidding system was going to be on my side a little bit. I was totally and completely wrong. I was bidding before I was back fit at work, if that makes sense. So the bidding window for May came out just before I called back in fit at work. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it. I don't know if it meant that my bids were just written off because I wasn't technically back at work when I was doing the bidding. But I tried it anyway just because I knew that when the roster came out, I'd be back at work. So I gave it a go and it did not go well. Let me move over to one side so you can see my lovely bids down here that completely flopped. Anyway, I bidded for weekends off, as in Friday, Saturday, Sunday off, and I also bidded for 4-day trips with like 1 sector in. So basically I wanted to get some experience for long haul because I knew that my first month was just going to be short haul, so I wanted to get some long haul in there. And I also thought that if I bidded for 4 days, I could hope that they would be Monday to Thursday, and then that would in turn help that my weekends were off. That did not happen at all. I don't think I got either of my bids. And the thing is that you have to have like a certain percentage of bid satisfaction. So I have a feeling that my bids were written off because I wasn't back at work. But you gotta try. If you don't try, you don't get. Or if you don't ask, you don't get. That's the saying, isn't it? But I asked and I didn't get. So here we are. May's roster. Are we ready? Somebody doesn't like me in the scheduling team, I don't think. I know it's all done by like a system, so that statement isn't true at all, but it feels like somebody doesn't like me too much. So my first block that I have in May is standby, and it is 7 days long. So my first day of standby is always going to be airport standby. So day 1 is in the airport. I think it's something stupid from like 8 p.m. to like 11 p.m. So really ridiculous. But I think it's because I'm covering a specific trip, which I'll get onto in a second. My second day is home standby. I then have a flexi day off in the middle. I'm yet to find out what that really truly means. And then I have 4 more home standby days. I'm not over the moon about it, I can't lie to you. So if you're new around here and you're just tuning into these roster reveals and you don't watch anything else on my channel, then you won't know that I've been off of work for 5 months, and coming back I was able to pick like a certain something to sort of ease me back in. And it could be like you either choose long haul or short haul. You had a couple of extra days off at the month, which wouldn't have made any sense to me because I knew I was going 75% anyway. Or you could do like no standby for the month, and that's the one that I chose. So for my first month being back at work, I asked for no standby. So in April, thankfully, I didn't get any of that. However, in May, I have 7 days worth. And because it's 7 days long, it's a potential for my first long haul, which isn't ideal because I'm already feeling very anxious about it. I've got back into the swing of things when it comes to short haul, but long haul still makes me nervous. And the fact that I won't know where I'm going, what aircraft, what crew, any of that, for my first potential long haul scares the living crap out of me. Can't do anything about it, so I'm just gonna have to crack on with it, aren't I? I'm just gonna have to put on my big girl pants and crack on with it. Anyway, with it being 7 days, I've worked out that I'm actually covering a specific trip. So I think I'm covering the Santiago, which is 7 days long. So that first day of airport standby, I'm assuming they're going to keep me until that Santiago goes, and then if I don't go on that Santiago, then I could literally be called for anything and everything. However, the flexi day off is there because if I don't get the 7-day Santiago, then they can only give me a 6-day trip, for example, which then means I would need the day off. Do you get what I mean? So yeah, I've got a random flexi day off in the middle, but I could still be called for a short haul as well. It could end up being a week full of there and backs. It could be a 3-day trip and a couple of short haul. It could be a 6-day trip. It literally could be anything. The only trip it can't be is a Singapore Sydney because it's 9 days long, and that's literally the only trip that it can't be. At least when it's 3 days, I'm like, okay, well, I'm in from a certain time and these are the only trips going from that time, so I can kind of guess. Whereas it's 7 days. It's a guessing game for 7 days. So I'm really excited, completely thrilled about that. I'll let you know on my next roster if that changed. If you follow me over on Instagram, then you'll probably know if it changed sooner because I'm sure I'll document it somewhere. If I'm in Santiago, then I'll probably go and do something. However, I'm very nervous because that's a long flight and a long time to be away from home for your first long haul. What can you do? Nothing. So we just smile and wave and get on with it. My next block is another long haul. It's at Dallas. I'm going to Dallas and I'm pretty sure I've never been to Dallas before. I think I put in one of my rosters before that was going to Dallas and I wasn't. I was going to Washington. I don't know how I got them mixed up. But I'm going to Dallas. It's a 3-day trip. I clear at about 6-ish in the evening on the first day and then don't get picked up till 6-ish in the evening the day after. So I've got a nice 24 hours there. Apparently, according to every member of crew that I've spoken to, there is nothing to do, like sort of where our hotel's located. So I'll probably just do a nice normal chilled routine, gym, food, Netflix. It'll give me a nice excuse to just do nothing. If it is my first long haul, then I'm definitely going to appreciate doing nothing anyway. But yeah, that's my first long haul trip if I don't go anywhere else in my standby. And I'm not mad about it. I feel like that's a good first one to go on. And it's a new destination, which is cool. And then after that, I've got 1 trip left. This is the thing when I go 75% and I'm part-time. I get about 3 blocks in the month and that is it, and it feels like the month is so much shorter. It's so much nicer for me, but these roster reveals feel like they're so short and sweet. The final block in May's roster is a Bahrain. It's a 3-day Bahrain and it's Middle East, which I've never been to before. I've been Far East, not been Middle East. So we're covering a lot of new things in this roster. I've heard good things about this trip. I've heard that it's good allowances. I've heard that it's a nice hotel. I don't think you can really do anything there either, so it will just be catching some rays by the pool. And that's it. Again, I've got a full clear day, so a nice little 24 hours. But yeah, I'm actually really excited about Bahrain, to be fair. Never been there before. A nice excuse to lounge around by the pool. And it's only 3 days, so they're nice short long hauls apart from, God forbid, the 7-day standby. And that is everything for May's roster. So there's a lot of first time things going on in this roster, you know. I've never done a standby block that is as long as 7 days. I feel like my longest has been maybe 4, maybe 5. But 7 days, this flexi day is new. Dallas is new. Bahrain is new. I'm not going back in gently, am I? I'm trying all the new things on the way back in, which is terrifying me just a little bit. It's not a bad roster as rosters go. It's just that 7-day standby because it literally could be anything and everything, which is freaking me out. But at least it will make the next roster quite exciting because you'll be able to find out all the things that I've done. Watch it end up being 7 days of nothing and I get non-op. No, because if I actually get non-op, God, I hope it turns into something. I hope whatever it turns into, it's nice. But I hope it turns into something because I can't afford to not do anything for another 7 days. But anyway, short and sweet, that is the whole roster. I am obviously 75%. That's a part-time roster, which I probably should have mentioned at the beginning. So no bids achieved. Not too bad as rosters go. And I will fill you in on everything that changes in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. And I will see you in my next one. Bye.